Om Sang Saraswati Namaha Namaste. Tonight we're going to begin the worship of Lord Shiva. On page 209, please recite with us. 299. Om Sadashivaya Vidmahe Sahasrakshaya Dhimahe Tano Shambho Prachodayad. Om Sajo Jatam Prapadyami Sajo Jataya Ve Namo Namah Babe Babe Nati Babe Babasmamom Bobo Babaya Namaha Bamadevaya Namo Jeshtaya Namaha Sreshtaya Namo Rudraya Namaha Kalaya Namaha Kalabhikaranaya Namo Balabhikaranaya Namo Balaya Namo Balapramantanaya Namaha Sarvabhuta Damanaya Namo Manomanaya Namaha Agorebhyo Tagorebhyo Agorage Ratrebhyaha Sarvebhyaha Sarvasarvebhyo Namaste Astu Rudurubhebhyaha Om Tatpurashaya Vidamahe Mahadevaya Dhimake Tano Rudra Prachodayad. Isanaka Sarvavidyanam Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Brahmadipatir Brahmanodipatir Brahma Shivo Meyastu Sadasivo. Etriganda Pushpe Om Haraya Namaha Etriganda Pushpe Om Maheshwaraya Namaha Om Jaye Nityam Mahesham Rajatagiri Nibam Charu Chandravatang Sam Ratna Kapojvalangam Parashum Amriga Babi Piyastam Prastanam Padmasinang Samantat Studamamavraganir Vyagrakriting Vasanam Vishwadyam Vishwabijam Nakalabayaharam Panchabhaktram Trinetram Om Nam Angustabhyam Namah Om Tarjanibhyam Swaha Om Sing Madhamabhyam Boshat Om Bam Pranamikabhyam Om Yakanishtikabhyam Boshat Om Namah Shivaya Karoto Kaprishtabhyam Astraya Pat Om Namah Shivaya Om Nang Ridakaya Namah Om Mahsirase Swaha Om Shing Shikaya Ki Boshat Om Bam Kabachaya Hum Om Yanitra Tragaya Boshat Om Namah Shivaya Karoto Kaprishtabhyam Astraya Pat Om Namah Shivaya Om Nagaduchi Namah Om Maprachi Namah Om Sing Dakshinaya Namah Om Bam Pratechaki Namah Om Yavaya Vyagi Namah Om Yam Nisanyaki Namah Om Ma Agnehi Namah Om Shing Nariti Namah Om Bam Urdayaki Namah Om Yabhumyahi Namah Om Namah Shivaya Etiganda Pushpe Om Sarvaya Kshiti Murtaki Namah Etiganda Pushpe Om Varaya Jala Murtaki Namah Etiganda Pushpe Om Rudraya Agni Murtaki Namah Etiganda Pushpe Om Ugraya Vayu Murtaki Namah Etiganda Pushpe Om Bhimaya Akasha Murtaki Namah Etiganda Pushpe Om Pashupataye Yajaman Murtaki Namah Etiganda Pushpe Om Mahadevaya Soma Murtaki Namah Etiganda Pushpe Om Isanaya Surya Murtaki Namah Om Namostana Bhutaya Namostu Stana Bhutaka Jyotir Lingatmane Namah Chaturmurti Papushaya Pasitangaya Sambhave Om Namah Shivaya. And here is where we perform japa of Shiva's mantra, the Mool mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, at least one mala. And then we sing the stotram. Bande Devam Umapating Suragurum Bande Jagakaranam Bande Panakabhushanam Mrigadaram Bande Pasunam Patim Bande Surya Sasankapani Nagadam Bande Mukunda Priyam Bande Bhakta Janashrayam Jaboradam Bande Shivam Shankaram He Jifwe Bhaja Vishwanath Badri Kedar Pasmambara Bhima Shankara Baijanat Yavare Nageshwara Meshwara Omkare Mamaleshwaram Smarakaram Mahankalam Malikarjunam Dhyaye Trambaka Somanata Manisang Ekadashe Om Namah Devang Chandra Kaladaram Panidaram Brahma Kapaladaram Gauri Bhakyadaram Trilochanadaram Rudrakshamala Galam Ganga Rangadaranga Pingala Jatajutam Chatangadaram Nilogra Bhaja Vishwanatha Sakitam Soma Sarakshakaram Santam Padmasanastam Shashadaram Mukatam Panchabhatram Sulam Bhadram Kachakargam Parashumabhayadam Dakshinange Nagam Dashang Chakantang Damaruka Sakitam Sankashambhama Bhage Nanalankara Diptam Spadika Maninibam Parvatisham Namami Karpura Goram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Pujagendraharam Sadavasantang Hridayarabinde Bhavam Bhavani Sagitam Namami Asita Girisamam Sat Kajalam Sindhu Patre Suruta Ruvara Shaka Lekani Patramumave Likadi Jadi Grihitwa Sharada Sarvakalam Tadapita Bagunanam Isham Paramnayati Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Saka Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Karacharana Kritam Vak Kaya Jankarma Jangva Sravananayana Jangva Manasam Babaradam Vihitam Abhihitam Va Saratam Kabashamashwa Jaya Jaya Karunabde Sri Mahadeva Shambho Chandrodpasita Sekare Smarakare Gangadare Sankare Sapurbushita Kanta Karnabivare Nitrotva Vaiswanare Tantritva Krita Sundaram Paradare Trilokya Sare Hare Mokshartam Kuruchitam Achalama Istu King Karmabi Om Tat Purushaya Vidmake Mahadevaya Dhimake Tanno Rudra Prachodayad Brahmanandam Paramasukablam Kevalam Yanamurtin Dvanadvatitang Gaganasadrisam Tatamasyadi Laksham Ekam Nityam Bimalachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Babatitam Trigurarakitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Narayanam Padma Babam Boshishtam Shakting Tatrat Putra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukam Goda Padam Nahantam Govinda Yogindra Matashya Shisham Sri Shankaracharya Matashya Padma Padam Cha Hastamalakam Cha Shisham Tantotakam Bhartika Karamasmad Guru Satatamanos Tosmi Akanda Mandalakaram Yaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sruti Smriti Purana Nam Malayam Karunalakam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutabhashya Krito Bhande Bhagavanta Puna Puna Ishvaro Gururatmiti Murti Veda Vipagine Vyome Vyapya Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Nana Sugandha Pushpani Yatakalo Babani Cha Bhagyatatani Pujartam Grihana Parameshwaram Saurashtre Somanatham Cha Sisailai Malikarjunam Ujjinyang Mahakalam Omkare Parameshwaram Kedaram Hibabat Priste Dakinyam Bhima Sankaram Varanasyam Chaveshwesham Trambakam Gotamitate Boyjanata Chitabumao Nageshang Darakabane Setabande Charameshang Gushmeshang Cha Shiva Lage Dwadashai Tani Tamani Pratarutaya Gyapate Sarva Papa Vinirmukta Sarva Siddhing Palang David O Mahadeva Makadrana Mahayogi Mekeshwara Sarva Papa Haram Deva Makaraya Namo Namaka Om Namah Shivaya Santaya Karnatraya Gatave Nivedayami Chatmanam Tvam Gati Parameshwara Om Namah Shivaya. Let's go back and read our worship of Lord Shiva on page 299, the worship of Shiva. Om, we meditate upon that perfect, full, complete, always continuing consciousness of infinite goodness. We contemplate He whose 1,000 eyes see everywhere. May that giver of bliss grant us increase. So He's going to give us increase in bliss. He's going to give us increase in full and complete and perfect consciousness. And He's going to give us increase in infinite goodness. Now Shiva has 5 faces. And we meditate. His first face is Sadyojata. His second face is Bhamadev. His third face is Aghora. His fourth face is Tatpurush. His fifth face is Isana. And these are the descriptions of each of the 5 faces, the 5 attributes of the one Shiva, the one consciousness of infinite goodness. Om, I extol the birth of truth as pure existence, Sadyojata. The birth of truth, Sat, Jata. Sadyojata, the birth of truth as pure existence. Again and again I bow down to the birth of truth as pure existence. In being after being, beyond all being, who Himself is all being, from whom came all being, to that existence I bow. I bow to the beautiful God who is beloved, Bhamadev. He's beautiful, He's beloved. I bow to the pleasant one, to the ultimate one. I bow to the reliever of sufferings. I bow to time. I bow to the cause of the illumination of darkness. I bow to the source of strength. I bow to the progenitor of strength. I bow to the fashioner of all the elements. I bow to the mind of all minds. He blows our minds. In fact, we just lose our minds into the mind of all minds by mere fact of bowing to Him. I bow to He who is free from fear, Aghora. He has no gore, no fear, no trepidation, no hesitation, no consternation, who instills the fear of evil. So those who wish to perform evil always have a guilty conscience. They're always afraid of discovery. Who saves the righteous from fear, who is within all, the all of everything. We give our respect to He who is the form of the reliever of sufferings. Oh, we meditate on that universal consciousness. We contemplate the great God. Tat Purusha, Puro Isha, the full, complete Pur Isha, Puru Isha Iti Purusha, that seer of all, that consciousness of all, that full, complete, perfect consciousness, that universal consciousness. We contemplate the great God, Mahadeva, the great shining one, the luminous being of all illumination. May that reliever of sufferings grant us increase. The seer of all, Isana, who is all knowledge, the Lord of the universe, who is all existence, before the creative consciousness, before the knowers of consciousness, existing in eternal delight as the consciousness of infinite goodness. With these scented flowers, Om, we bow to He who takes away. With these scented flowers, Om, we bow to the Supreme Lord of all. We always meditate on He who shines like the white mountains, ornamented by a digit of the moon on his head. Remember, Chandra sits on his head and he covers his body with ashes, and so he looks like the white mountains. His body shines like jewels. In his left hand he displays an axe, and the Mriga Mudra, the Kalpatara Mudra, with the thumb, middle, and ring fingers joined. Middle and ring fingers joined with the thumb, with the pointer and the pinky extended up. That's the Mriga Mudra, the Kalpatara Mudra. And that means we receive the energy coming from above and we transmit it to those below. His left hands display an axe and the Mrig Mudra, Kalpatara Mudra, and in his two right hands he shows the mudras granting blessings and fearlessness. He is of beautiful appearance, seated in the full lotus asan. On his four sides the gods are present, singing hymns of praise. His wearing apparel is a tiger skin. He is before the universe and the cause of the universe. He removes all fear, has 5 faces and 3 eyes, and actually has 3 eyes on each face. So that gives him 15 eyes. And that's a seer. He doesn't miss anything. Om Nam, in the thumb I bow. Om Ma, in the forefinger I am one with God. Om Sting, in the middle finger purify. Om Bong, in the ring finger cut the ingo. In Ya, in the little finger ultimate purity. Om, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. Roll your hands forward and backwards, front and back, with the weapon of virtue, and clap. Om, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. Om Nam, in the heart I bow. Om Ma, on the top of the head I am one with God. Om Shing, on the back of the head purify. Om Bong, crossing both arms, cut the ego. Om Ya, on the 3 eyes ultimate purity. Om Namah Shivaya, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness with the weapon of virtue. I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. And now from wherever you are situated, Om, I bow to Nam in the north. Om, I bow to Ma in the east. Om, I bow to Shim in the south. Om, I bow to Bong in the west. Om, I bow to Ya in the northwest. Om, I bow to Nam in the northeast. Om, I bow to Ma in the southeast. Om, I bow to Shim in the southwest. Om, I bow to Bam looking up. Om, I bow to Ya looking down. And in all 10 directions, Om Namah Shivaya, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. There is nowhere where you are not. In all 10 directions. With these scented flowers, Om, I bow to the image of all earth in the east. With these scented flowers, Om, I bow to the image was full of water in the northeast. With these scented flowers, Om, I bow to the image of the divine fire, the light of meditation, who takes away the sufferings of all in the north. With these scented flowers, Om, I bow to the image of wind, who is fierce and blows as he pleases in the northwest. With these scented flowers, Om, I bow to the image of ether, who is fearless in the west. With these scented flowers, Om, I bow to the sacrificer, the Lord of all animal life in the southwest. With these scented flowers, Om, I bow to the image of the moon of devotion to the great God in the south. With these scented flowers, Om, I bow to the image of the sun, or the light of wisdom, to the Lord of all in the southeast. Om, I bow to the residence of all existence, to the subtlest consciousness of light I bow. The four images are his reflections, the body of the universe, giver of bliss. Now these four murtis, these chatur murtis, puchushchaya, they all reflect him. So they say that it is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and Rudra are the four images which make like a table upon which sits the Divine Mother. These four images make the legs upon which is the seat of the throne of the Divine Mother. And now we recite Shiva's mantra at least 108 times. Om, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. Now his meditation and song, Stuti, we extol the God who is the Lord of Uma, the Guru of the gods. We extol the cause of the perceivable universe. We extol he who has the radiance of emeralds, who shows the mudra of the deer, also known as the wish-fulfilling tree. We extol he who is the Lord of all who are bound, because he can set us free. We extol he whose three eyes are the sun, the moon, and the fire. We extol the beloved of Vishnu. We extol the refuge of all devotees and the giver of boons. We extol the consciousness of infinite goodness, the cause of bliss. O tongue, hey, I'm talking to you, tongue. Hey, tongue, sing the praises of the Lord of the universe and quit your stupid your gossip. Stop all the foolish words that come out. Hey, tongue, listen to me. Sing the praises of the Lord of the universe, who dwells in Badri, Kedarnath, and wears ashes. He stays at Bhima Shankar, Bojnath, Nageshwar, Rameshwar, Omkareshwar, Mamaleshwaram, Mahankala, Malikarjunam, Trambaka, Somnath. Om, we bow and meditate on the 11 forms of Rudra. The God who wears the part of the moon, who wears snakes, the supreme divinity who wears skulls, with Gauri on his left side, displaying 3 eyes and a garland of Rudraksh. He supports Ganga, who is running down from his matted locks of hair with a blue throat. The attained ones sing praises to the Lord of the universe with full devotion and seek his protection. So remember, we talked about how Ganga got on Shiva's hair and came down his locks. He's got the moon in his hair. He's got the blue throat from drinking the poison of the hala hala, the craziness of creation. Who is filled with peace, sitting in the full lotus posture with the moon on his forehead, with 5 faces and 3 eyes. He holds a trident, a thunderbolt, a sword, and an axe, and shows the mudra that grants freedom from all fear in the 5 hands on his right side. And a sword, noose, bell, small drum, that's the damaru, the curved sword, are in those on his left side. So he's got 5 faces, he's got 10 arms. 5 on the right and 5 on the left. If you look closely, he's got 10 arms. His various ornaments are shining like gems and crystal. I bow to the husband of Parvati. Of white color like pure camphor, he is the embodiment of compassion, the lord of the ocean of objects and relationships, who wears the king of snakes as a necklace. I bow to he who always resides in the lotus heart of all of existence, along with the divine mother of the universe. When Sharada Saraswati, who has performed inconceivable austerities of purification and spiritual disciplines, is unable to know or write all of your qualities, then what shall we be able to sing? Saraswati herself can't enumerate all of your qualities, and she can't describe all of your characteristics. What are we poor devotees going to say? We've got to try, though. You alone are mother and father. You alone are friend and relative. You alone are knowledge and wealth. Oh my God of gods, you alone are everything. What a feeble attempt. But we've got to try. You can't refrain from trying just because it's impossible. Any fault committed by the actions of my hands or feet, speech or body, my eyes, ears or mind, whether authorized or unauthorized. Look at the errors and omissions clauses. We weren't the first to develop those. We come from a long tradition of lawyers who had the fine print indelibly etched into the scriptures. Errors and omissions, any fault, whether authorized or unauthorized, all of that, please forgive. Kshama Koro, Kshama Shiva. Victory, victory, Jai, Jai, to the ocean of compassion, the respected great God, illuminator of peace, upon whose head the moon resides, destroyer of the God of love, who supports the Ganga, the cause of peace, at whose throat the snake shines, and also as the ornaments of his ears, in whose third eye resides the fire of universal existence, with teeth of ivory. Wearing a beautiful garment, he takes away the difficulties of the ocean of the three worlds. For the purpose of liberation, do what is necessary to stop the changes and modifications of consciousness. You, for the purpose of liberating me, stop the changes, the vrittis of my chitta. Make me in yoga. Please. We meditate on that universal consciousness. We contemplate the great God. May that reliever of sufferings grant us increase. This bliss of supreme divinity, the highest pleasure, the only image of wisdom, beyond all changes, the pure perception through the ether, the highest goal of all the principles, one, eternal, pure, immovable, the witness of the minds of all beings, beyond all attributes, beyond the three gunas. I bow to He who is the true Guru. From Narayan, Vishnu, to the lotus one, Brahma, to Vashishta, to his disciple Shakti, to his son Parashar, to Vyas, to Shukdev, to Gaudapadacharya, to his disciple Mahant, to the king of yogis Govinda, in disciplic succession, and this is the lineage. This is how we trace our lineage back to Mahadev. The respected Shankaracharya and his disciples, Padmapadacharya, Hastamalakacharya, Totakacharya, and Sureshwaracharya, and thereafter to other gurus, always we bow the head. We bow our heads. Always. To the entire lineage, to all the gurus in the disciplic succession that take us back to Shiva. To he who is made manifest this infinite existence and made the individual forms that move and move not. In order to perceive his lotus feet, I bow down to the respected Guru. The Guru is Brahma. The Guru is Vishnu. Guru is the Lord Maheshwara. The Guru is actually the Supreme Divinity, and therefore we bow down to the Guru. And this has so many levels of meaning. It means if you perceive that your Guru is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, you are automatically transported to liberation. You are liberated immediately. It also means that Brahma is the Guru. Vishnu is the Guru. Shiva is the Guru. All the others are upagurus, little gurus, near gurus, almost gurus, who take us to the real gurus. So here we have Guru as Brahma. Your Guru is Brahma, and Brahma is your Guru. Your Guru is Vishnu, and Vishnu is your Guru. Your Guru is Shiva, and Shiva is your Guru. And it's true on every level of application. Bhavile bhaver udoyare. From your bhav, the bhav increases. The repository of compassion described in the Vedas in Shruti, in the histories and commentaries in Smriti, and in the Puranas, I bow down to the feet of that divinity, the cause of peace in the worlds. We worship with adoration Shankar and Keshava, Vishnu and Shiva, along with their spokesmen and commentators Shankaracharya and Vedvyas, Badarayan, again and again. So here we go back to the commentators through the lineage. From Shankar, from Shiva came Shankaracharya to commentate upon the truths espoused by Shiva. And from Vishnu came Badaranya or Vyas, who commentated on the truths and the stories of Vishnu. The Supreme Divinity is the soul of the Guru, the image of divinity distinguished by attributes, who is indivisible like the sky. We bow to Dakshinamurti, the preferred image. Dakshinamurti is also the image who looks south. Dakshinamurti is also the image who gives forth abundance. So he's the preferred image who looks south and gives forth abundance. Various excellently scented flowers that rise in their time your devotees are offering for your worship. Please accept them, O Supreme Lord. In Saurashtra he is called Somnath, and in Sri Shaila Mallikarjunam, in Ujjain Mahakalam, in Omkar Parameshwaram. He is called Kedar on the backside of the Himalayas, and in the south Bhima Shankaram, in Varanasi Vishwesham, and in Gautami, that's Trambakam, in Gautami is at the Godavari River, the origins of the Godavari River. In Chittabhumi, the land of consciousness, he is called Vaidhyanath. And in the forests of Daruka, Nagesam, where they made the bridge. Where they made the bridge, at Rameshwaram. He's called Ramesam. And in the place of Shiva, Gushmesam. Whoever will read these 12 names upon rising in the early morning will be freed from the bondage of sin and will attain the fruits of perfection. Om, the great God, the great reliever, the great yogi, O Supreme Lord, O God who removes all sin, in the form of the letter Mo, which dissolves creation. A, U, Mo. A is Srishti, that's Brahma. U is Sthiti, that's Vishnu. Ma is culmination, transformation, termination, and that is Shiva, and that is Om. In the form of the letter Ma, which dissolves creation, we bow to you again and again. Om, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness, to peace, to the cause of the three worlds. I offer you the fullness of my soul, O Supreme Lord. Om, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. Namaste. Do we have any questions about the worship of Shiva? How to integrate Shiva into our Upasana, how to regard Shiva in our lives.
Swamiji, I have a question about Rudra, Swamiji.
Please.
The other day you said that the beach mantra for Rudra is Hum.
Correct.
Why? How are the two related, Rudra and the beach mantra?
Actually, Hum, what is the relationship? Hum stands for Purush, and Rudra is defined as Ashru Trayate, he who takes away the tears. He's the reliever of sorrows, the reliever of sufferings. Hum is also Aham, with that is Ahamkara, the ego of God, and that is Rudra. So the rishis cognized Hum as the bija of Rudra. And Shiva's bija is Om. Because Shiva is infinite and Rudra is manifest. So Shiva, his Mool mantra is Om Namah Shivaya, Panchakshar. But his bija mantra is Om, because he is Adi and Anant. He is first and foremost, without a beginning, without birth. Now, Shiva is Om, Rudra is manifested as Hum. So he is the consciousness. It is not necessary that the Bij mantra be the first letter of the name of the individual. For example, Agni's Bij mantra is wrong. And you can ask, what is the meaning of wrong? And how does that relate to Agni? In the same way, Vayu's Bij mantra is young. So it's not just the first letter of the name, although many, Lakshmi's Bij mantra is Shrim. But Saraswati's Bij mantra is Tham. Sometimes it applies and sometimes it does not. There are certain nigantus, dictionaries, and appendices, which the rishis wrote, which we've offered or attempted to translate some of them, which give us their discovery of the Bij mantras. And when we move into that subtle space, we can understand that the vibrations which the Bij mantras are expressing are actually indicative of the feeling of that object or relationship. So therein lies the correspondence. Where there's you feel the vibrations. It goes way beyond the intellect. It's not something that you memorize.
We have a lot of questions from our viewers.
Okay.
One is on page 314 in the bottom verse. The question is, what does it mean in practical life that Shiva destroys the god of love?
We talked about that story, and we told about when the gods wanted Shiva to marry, and they sent the god of love, Kamadev, and Kamadev is the god of the love of attachment. And Shiva was struck by the arrows of Kamadev, just like Cupid would take his bow and shoot an arrow and pierce the lover's heart, and the lover would never be the same. But when the arrow struck Shiva, he got mad. He said, "Why are you trying to instill lust, passion, and desire within me? You're trying to fill me full of attachment, and I don't want to be filled full of attachment. I'm a yogi, an ascetic." And in his anger, he opened his third eye, and the fire came out and burned the god of love, and love became known as Ananga, without a body. Now, that's why Shiva said, "If you want me to marry, come and tell me that for the purpose of supporting Dharma, I can marry and perform special service to this creation through my union. I'm more than willing to help creation. That's why I'm here. But if you're trying to fill me full of attachment and fill me full of desire, and you're trying to dissuade my mind from the peaceful center which I've achieved and through my practice of yoga, no way! I'm not interested." And that's why he's known as the destroyer of the god of love. Yes, please.
In that same verse it says, "At whose throat the snake shines."
Right. Now, the snake stands for Kundalini Shakti. So Shiva wears Shakti as an ornament. Just like when we gave the bangles to the Divine Mother and they contained all the alphabets of Sanskrit. In the same way, Mother wore all the vibrations existing in creation as an ornament. Shiva wears all the energy of creation as an ornament. He wears it around his neck.
Why do we ask beginners to start with Shiva Puja instead of Ganesh or any other deity?
Because Shiva's moon mantra is Panch Akshar, 5 syllables. Namah Shivaya. And that's the easiest place to start. Shiva is the guru of all the gurus. And if we propitiate Shiva, he will make us ready to receive the teaching and to recognize when the guru comes into our lives. When a disciple is ready, the guru comes. If we worship Shiva, who is the guru of all the gurus, we prepare ourselves. Remember that fellow who said, "Prepare ye the way of the Lord"? We prepare ourselves by worshiping Shiva. And Shiva is easily pleased. There are no complications in his worship. You can pour a glass of water over a stone and say Om Namah Shivaya, and that is your worship of Shiva. That's the best place to begin. And that's the reason we begin there.
Another question. Why is Shiva the lord of all animals, Pashupati?
He is Pashupati because he takes away all the animalistic tendencies of all devotees. He's the Lord of all the animals because he raises us up. Remember, there are 3 bhavas, or 3 attitudes. The lower chakras, when we respond with just a selfish desire, we are pashu. We are animals. The middle chakras, when we are striving to elevate our consciousness away from the material desires of life, And we're striving to accomplish or achieve a certain state of consciousness and awareness and improve our minds and our intellects. That's called birya. We're warriors. We're fighting against our pashu nature, our animalistic tendencies, and saying, I'm going to rise above the calls of nature that says eating, sleeping, and mating. Those are my animalistic tendencies. I'm going to rise above those tendencies and fight the battle to accomplish a higher state of consciousness and awareness. And then when we reside in the upper chakras, then we get to be dibya, shining, illuminated, divine. So Shiva is Pashupati. He's the Lord of all the animalistic tendencies because he brings them up and he makes us divine. He controls them all. If we pray to Shiva, he can control all of our animalistic tendencies and make us shine with divinity.
The nyasa that we do for different directions.
Yes, nyasa.
Swamiji, it's done for Om Namah Shivaya Navarna mantra. Can it be done with vrittis to other mantras?
It can be. Some of them are very difficult to do. Some of them are easy. So you can you use the vritti in each of the directions, and you go 5 directions with each pass. So you can say Om Gangu Dichi in the Mom, Ging Tarjini Pyang, Om Gangu Dichi in the Mom, Om Ging Prachi in the Mom, Om Ging Dakshinaya in the Mom, Om Going Pratichiki in the Mom, Om Going Ga Naritya in the Mom. And in this way you can go around. But we don't generally do that. If you do that for your Ishtadeva or for your Mool Path, then you will be sufficient. We can make up our own nyasas, and we can make our own digbandhan in the 10 directions by taking the vritti and applying it to the Mula mantra, the beach mantra of that deity.
Swamiji, another question is the description of any deity as with 5 faces and 10 arms or similar. Was it because a rishi realized this form of the deity in their meditation?
Yes, that is the reason. The rishi realized it and sang the poetry, which later became incorporated in the scriptures, describing those 5 faces. And remember again, the 5 faces demonstrate the 5 attributes of the one divinity. He's constantly giving birth to truth. He's full of love and preference. He's the preferred, the beloved deity. He's free from fear. He's that full, complete, and eternal universal consciousness. And he's the ruler of all. And these are the 5 attributes that he shows us with his 5 faces. And the rishis, I can't tell you which rishi saw him first.
Swamiji, I have a question about the Hridayadi Nyas.
Yes.
In the Hridayadi Nyas, we place our thumb at the back of our head.
On the shika.
Shika. What is the significance of that?
Well, remember the shika is where we leave a little tuft of hair so that that God can pull the soul up when we exit from the Sahasrara. So there's a tuft of hair there. Also, we cover it so that that area is protected up prior to our departure. So this shika is the crown of the head, and it's where the energy is. As you pull up the energy, you bring it to the Agnya Chakra, you bring it to the Sahasrara, and it comes out through the shika. So that's as we point to the Shika, we're pointing to this area where the crown of the cranium, where when we perform a cremation, when the body gets hot, we poke the shika with a bamboo pole. It's really an amazing thing. I'm sorry to be a little gruesome, but it's really exciting. The way it works, when the body is in the fire, it's the oldest son's duty and privilege to release the spirit of his parents, if possible, or his family members. And we, in performing the funeral rites, place the body on the fire. As the body is heating, the cranium gets filled with an oil. As the brains melt, they become a liquid fat and oil. And it makes a very high pressure inside the cranium. And then you come by, the oldest son comes by with a bamboo pole and taps the shika, which pops open, and all this oil and fat pour into the fire, and the fire shoots up into the air. And that is what is known as a pret utsarga. When the soul, the disembodied spirit, leaves the body and it shoots up into the atmosphere and it ascends to heaven. And that's how it's performed. And that's done through the shika, this highest point, this crown, the top of the head. So that's called the pret utsarga in the shavdaha. Shavdaha means the burning of the corpse. And pret utsarga is the releasing of the soul when the disembodied spirit, the pret, goes to heaven. It ascends. And that's why in traditional funerals, we want to burn the body in the open area and not in an enclosed crematorium. And you don't want to cover the body completely. You have to leave a space so you can see where the head is. And that is called the shika.
So, Swami, then what is the best way to take care of your departed?
According to the traditions of your culture, your society, your family. If you're going to do it in America, they have so many rules and regulations and permits, and you spend more time signing forms than you do get the opportunity to mourn your departed relatives or your departed loved ones. So they've changed the nature of the transition. But it's still in India, and India also is becoming more and more difficult. They're making more electric crematoriums and enclosed buildings in which to burn bodies and things like that. But I lived in the cremation grounds for many years, and I got to perform many of the final rites for departed people. Are there other questions? Go ahead, Bharati.
On page 301 at the very bottom, could you please comment on that information there? The seer of all who is all knowledge.
Yes, well, it says Ishana Sarva Vidyanam. He's Sarva Vidya. He's all knowledge. These are attributes. Remember, we were talking about the 5 faces of the one supreme divinity, and his 5th face is the ruler of all, and he rules because he's all knowledge. He knows everything. So therefore he's capable of ruling. If he didn't know, he wouldn't be capable of ruling. So he is all knowledge, and all knowledge is part of him. He's the Jana Lok.
I'm sorry, Swami, I was thinking more of the whole thing where it says he's all existence before the creative consciousness.
Absolutely. He's before Brahma. This Shiva is before Brahma. He's before the Creator. He himself is not created. So if you ask, Brahma came from Vishnu's lotus, and the lotus came from Vishnu's navel. But where did Shiva come from? And there's no story. And do you know what? Swami doesn't have a story for that one. I can't tell you. There's a story about Vishnu coming from Shiva, from the pillar of fire. Shiva took the form of a pillar of fire, and out came Vishnu, and out came Brahma. And then Brahma said, "Who are you?" And Vishnu said, "Well, who are you that's asking me?" And Brahma said, "I'm Brahma, I'm the creator of this universe." And Vishnu said, "How could you be the creator? You came from my navel." So we can tell a story for Vishnu, we can tell a story for Brahma. We can tell a story for all of the other deities, how they came into manifestation. But Shiva, go ahead, tell me a story. There's no story. He's eternal, infinite consciousness. The consciousness of infinite goodness.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, I don't have a question, but I have a particular verse that I'm particularly fond of, and that's on page 315, the bottom verse. Just it describes so much for me what I could relate to as far as the aspects of Shiva, the qualities of Shiva.
And not only of Shiva, but also of the Guru.
Yeah.
Because that is the quality, the attributes of the Guru. He is the true Guru, and I bow to He who is the true Guru. Sat Guru Tang Namami. And if your Guru is really a Sat Guru, if it's really a Guru to you, then this is what she looks like. This is what she feels like. This is a description of her being and how you feel. The bliss of supreme divinity, the highest pleasure, the only image of wisdom, beyond all changes. I mean, this is how you feel to be in her presence. That's what it means to be a devotee. To really feel this way in her presence. And then she becomes Shiva. Are there other questions?
Swamiji, there's questions from our viewers.
Yes, please.
One is that the Shiva Gayatri uses Tannu Shambho Prachodaya.
Yes,
And there's another Gayatri which says Tannu Rudra Prachodaya.
absolutely.
So, for Tat Purusha, so which Gayatri do we use for which occasion?
Oh, they're both correct, and you can use them as you will. I would follow the text. Sham means peace. Bho means illuminator, or expositor, expounder, progenitor, who illuminates, who expounds, who expresses. Sham, peace, Shambho. Shankar, kar means a cause. And Sham means peace. And the cause of peace, the illuminator of peace. Rudra means asrutrayate, who takes away the sufferings. Who gives you peace. So you can use them interchangeably. However, my recommendation would be to follow the text. And when they use Tanno Shambhu, Tanno Rudra, Tanno Shankar, that you use it because the grammar will change. So my recommendation is to use the text. I have a book, one section of a book called Yagya Sangraha, and it has probably maybe 400 or 500 different Gayatri mantras. And for many deities, it has 8 or 10 or 12 different versions of the Gayatri mantra of each deity. Now, which one is incorrect? And a little later in this text, we're going to read Om Sanatani Maya Vidmahe Gyan Prakashayi Dhimahe Tanno Shrima Prachodayat. And the Srima Gayatri. So there's a new Gayatri being born with every rishi. Every time we choose to put together and assemble a new Gayatri, we can. And it'll enter into the next iteration of collection of Gayatri mantras. Other questions?
Swami, Shiva is associated with pure consciousness which doesn't act, Sada Shiva. In other contexts, he acts in many different ways. How
Yes.
do we reconcile these different descriptions of Shiva?
Because he is before the creation, he is before the creation, he is the creator, he is in the creation, and he creates. He is the actor, he is actor and acted upon. He is both before manifestation and in manifestation. So therefore he's both nirakar, chasakar. He is beyond form and he is with form as well. Om Sang Saraswati Namaha. Namaste.